A lot of the time when I post pictures of my welds online, one of the most common comments that I usually get on it is something like this. No way that's penetrated. Guy didn't show the backside. Boo. Let's see the penetration. While these are extremely common, let's humor it for today's episode. We're gonna do a few different joints here and demonstrate how penetrating a joint works and some things to watch for to ensure that you get the results you need. First off, let's do something relatively straightforward, like a butt joint. For anybody that does not know, a butt joint is where two pieces of plate will butt up together. Sometimes there's a gap in between, lots of different ways you can do it, but we're just gonna do this with a straight butt fit up today. The reason that this one's relatively straightforward is because when we're using some plate, we can literally flip it over and we can see right away how we did for the most part. It's relatively simple and easy to look at, so let's take a look at it. When running a butt joint, when I'm working with the students in my program, we have worked our way up to being comfortable letting our filler material fully blend out and create a proper transition between the filler material and the base material. One of the most common things that we see with this joint is this problem right here. This can be referred to as cold lap, but essentially this is just a lack of fusion between the filler material and the base material right on the edge here. So unfortunately, what's gonna happen here is our filler material is just gonna stand up tall in the center and it's not going to blend properly with the base material. What we wanna see is an edge like this. You see here how the filler material has blended into the base material much more thoroughly. This is usually gonna stand a much better chance on getting into the base material for proper penetration. When my students first usually work on this joint, typically when they're working with a material thickness of about 3/16 of an inch or 4.6 millimeters, or 1/4 inch material, approximately 6.4 millimeters. So essentially anything with a bit of thickness to it. My students will finish this exercise and then flip the plate over to look at the backside. And usually they become a little bit concerned when they flip their plate over and they do not see any evidence of penetration on the backside. All right, here's my hot take on this one. Listen, hear me out first. Who cares? Don't worry about it yet. When my students are first working on this joint, I personally find it distracting to try and get my students to pay attention to both sides of the plate at once when we haven't even learned how to control one side of it yet. If somebody's doing welding on the top side of this plate and it's showing lack of fusion or cold lap like we talked about, basically edges where the filler material is not blending into the base material properly, this is obviously pointless to check out the penetration on the backside. Of course, there's not going to be any. Seeing results like that, however, gives us a great idea that we need to spend more time working on getting things perfect on the top side before we really get stressed about trying to make things perfect on the back side. Once we can confidently and consistently get blended edges where our filler material is going where it needs to and everything settling down exactly the way we want, now we can focus on the backside. And remember, just because we don't see a perfect ribbon of penetration on the backside does not mean we have not penetrated it. When we're working with thicker plate material like we talked about, as long as we have adequate heat and we are blending the filler material into the base plate the way we need, for the most part, you're probably gonna have decent penetration into the top side of the material. Like I said, it is very difficult to get a perfect ribbon of penetration on the back side of a butt joint when working with thicker material. Sometimes we could flip it over, take a look and see evidence like this. We can see that we have indeed gotten good heat input down into the joint. So even though it may not be dead consistent, we do know that we are getting into the joint. Obviously at this point, there's a few things we can do to check it on the inside, but upon just having a good glance at it underneath, seeing evidence like this, a little bit of slight frosting, a little bit of penetration here and there that has come through the whole way, usually indicates we've gotten into the joint. A lot of wiggle room with this one, so take it easy. Most TIG welding tests I've taken over my years as a TIG welder like this usually require a back gouge on the backside anyway. Now obviously I'm just speaking from my experience, but when I'm teaching this joint to other people, when they're first learning, I find it's just better to focus on the basics that we can see and control. And after we fully understand what's happening with this joint, then we can push things a little further and try and get penetration on the other side. Like we see in this example here, we have a good amount of reinforcement and the bead on top looks great. Flipping it over, we can see the penetration on the backside is equally as consistent. So let's check out an outside corner joint. Once again, these are pretty easy to see how you did right away. All you have to do is flip it over and have a look. Especially with thinner material like 1/8 of an inch or 3.2 millimeters, it's much easier to get consistently through to the other side. Especially the way this joint is configured. Shut up, truck. Oh, construction, go away. We do not have a ton of parent material behind our weld, which makes it much easier to get through to the other side. Check out this video here. You can see this is being filmed from the inside of some aluminum box or something. And you can see I am consistently penetrating. I'm making sure that I'm taking my time to let the filler material fully blend down into the joint. And because I'm paying close attention to not letting things overfill, we can see that I am getting good penetration to the other side. How satisfying is this to watch, by the way? As long as we are making sure our filler material is blending down into the joint as opposed to standing high in the center, or sometimes you see it go out too wide, especially with thicker material, that can happen pretty easy. Trying to keep things as narrow as possible and making sure you do not overfill this joint, you're gonna be able to see pretty quickly when you flip it over if you've gotten through to the other side or not. All right, now here's one joint where things get a little tricky. We are gonna look at the Phillip joint. This one is a ton of fun to weld, but the only thing that sucks about this joint is we unfortunately don't really have the luxury of just flipping it over and see how we did. Now I have done multiple dozens of TIG welding tests, welding 1/4 inch or 6.4 millimeter plate. And there have definitely been times when I finished the pass with absolutely no idea how I did. There are a few things that I've learned you can watch for that will tell you as you are welding it if you are penetrating or not. But especially when I'm doing one of these tests in an overhead configuration, sometimes these slight signs that you're looking for are not easy to see. But what we can do after we finish is we cut the weld back slightly. You can use a Miller blade or a meat wheel, we call these things. And then after doing so, we can break the plates apart. All right, let's take a look at this one as well. Oh, what's this here? Okay, looks like we got through. This one is extremely tricky to do. Sometimes I've done this weld and thought I actually nailed it. And then after breaking it open, there is absolutely nothing on the inside. Because this joint, like I said, we can hit it with a ton of heat and a ton of filler material. Sometimes we can crack it open and we see we haven't penetrated at all. Such a bummer. I remember one time when I was taking this test, it was in the overhead position and I was 100% sure with absolute certainty that I had punched through with consistent penetration the entire time. I thought I nailed it. When we cracked it open, I was horrified that I did not penetrate it at all. Luckily, I got another attempt to do the test that day, and after readjusting a little bit, I passed it. But this just goes to show you this one can be deceiving. And unfortunately, the only way to really see how you did with this one is to crack the piece open, destroying the weld and some of the plate as well. But there are some things we can watch for that will give us a good idea of how we did and get some good success. Overfilling is a problem with this joint. Sometimes a lot of heat is required with it. And when more heat is used, a lot of people assume more filler material is required. And unfortunately, when we do that, what happens is the weld becomes bigger overall. This is very common when learning this one. This way, when we have extra filler material filling up the joint, when it gets to a certain point, we can hit it with all the heat we have, and our heat is gonna be negated by the amount of excessive filler material, which is basically gonna be blocking it from getting into the joint. When you're welding with this one, focus on your edges. Watch that your filler material is blending out evenly and consistently, and we wanna make sure that we are not forming a convex shape to the profile of your weld. Typically, as long as you're giving this one good heat, you shouldn't have a problem getting into it. It's definitely worth spending some time practicing this one. It's tricky to get. Penetrating a joint is difficult, but when you are learning, cut yourself some slack. Practice on getting all the details of the weld you want down perfectly. Worry about the overall control of your heat input and proper profile to every pass you do. Once you become more familiar with every joint you do, then you can start pushing it a little further and go for that penetration. If you're welding in a shop by yourself or if you're welding at home, do you know how to do an etch test? An etching test will be something that will help you take a look at the inside and actually see how you did getting into the joint. Check out this episode right here. This episode will break down exactly how to do this and even using some supplies you may have kicking around your house or maybe in that messy cabinet under the sink. Do a random act of kindness for a stranger today. For Pacific Arc TIG Welding, my name is Dusty. Bill and Chill, we will talk soon. Peace.